I came home with nothing that evening. The clamming beds were dug dry, the winter work a month off. Corinne did not ask what we would eat, she already knew. Rice, salt, and a quarter jar of pickled beets. She asked only if there was anything at all, and the silence between us was the truest answer I had given her in months. That night I lay on the floorboards and gave her the only mattress, and I watched the moonlight fall through the broken tower window above us. The lighthouse had not held a flame in 80 years, but something in that tower was not done watching. The first night, the keeper came to me as I slept. He stood on the foundation stones in a yellow oilskin coat, his face half lit by a moon I could not see behind him. One eye was white as a winter sky, the other held me still. His voice did not come from his mouth. It arrived inside my skull like a bell struck in an empty room. "Finn Moreau," he said, "go to the Boston Fish Pier. You will find what your family lost." I tried to speak. I tried to move. My feet were stones. He faded like fog burning off the water, and I woke on the floor with my heart hammering and nothing but moonlight to explain it. I told no one. A dream is a dream. The second night, he came again. This time he stood closer, near enough that I could see the salt crusted on his oilskin, the weathered cracks in his skin. His one good eye held something like anger. "Why do you linger?" he said. "Your wife grows heavy with your child. Go, or the chance sinks with the tide. This is my second warning." I woke gasping and looked at Corinne sleeping with both hands on her belly, and still I said nothing in the morning. A man can convince himself of anything when he is afraid of what believing might cost him. The third night, his voice filled the shack like a storm tide. The oilskin rippled though there was no wind, and he said, "This is my third warning. If you do not go, you doom them all." And I heard Corinne call my name in pain, and I woke to find her sleeping peacefully, her breath slow and deep. But in the morning I told her, "I have to go to Boston," I said. She did not cry. She looked at me with those steady gray eyes and said, "Then go before I ask you to stay." That was the hardest gift anyone has ever given me. 2 days of gray highways and coffee I could not afford brought me to Boston. The fish pier stank of diesel and brine and rotting scraps. I walked the length of it twice, the dream feeling thinner with every step, a fool from Maine chasing a ghost's whisper. On the third pass, a man stepped out of a warehouse door. He bought me chowder in a diner across the street, and I, thawing and desperate, told him everything. The keeper, the 3 warnings, the promise of fortune on the pier. He laughed until his face turned purple. Then he leaned across the table and said, "I have been having the same damn dream." And in that moment, I saw it. The shape of his jaw, the set of his eyes. I had seen that face once in a photograph tucked in a box of my grandmother's things. The man who had been my grandfather's partner. The man who took the family boat and fled after a body washed ashore. Silas Vane, my great-uncle. He described the keeper's lighthouse foundation, the same stones my shack was built against, and I understood that the dream had been given to both of us, and that I was now in a race with a man who had already stolen from my family once. He offered me a share, but I saw in his small, wide-set eyes that he had no intention of sharing anything. I made it back to Port Blossom in 18 hours, train to Portland, bus to the county line, a neighbor's truck for the last 10 miles of gravel. Corinne was at the door before the engine died. She did not smile, but her shoulders dropped half an inch. I kissed her and told her to get the midwife. That night, when the tide went out, I took a crowbar to the hearthstone. The slab was 3 inches of granite fitted into the foundation, with a cross worn near smooth in one corner. Corinne stood in the doorway and watched me work like I had lost my mind. Maybe I had. But I pried until my hands bled because I had nothing left to lose but the hope that the keeper's words might be true. The stone tipped and fell with a boom that shook the whole shack. Beneath it was a hollow, and in the hollow a wooden chest no bigger than a bread box. Rotted straps, a rusted lock that crumbled when I touched it. Inside, gold sovereigns, old and dark, stacked in neat rows, and beneath them a leather pouch that clinked with uncut emeralds. I lifted a handful and let it run through my fingers. Corinne came and stood beside me silent. Then she picked up a coin and bid it. "Real," she said. That single word was the first true piece of luck I had heard in a year. We stood there in the firelight, and for a moment I thought we had won. I did not hear the engine until the headlights swept across the shack. By then it was too late to hide anything. Silas stepped out with a shotgun cradled in his arms and 2 men behind him. He said the treasure was his. The land was his. The lighthouse built by his great-grandfather. Everything under it belonging to him by right. I moved in front of Corinne. I told him what he was, a thief who let a man drown and ran. He raised the shotgun, and then Corinne grabbed my arm, and I saw in her face that the babies were coming. Silas laughed. "Step aside, boy," he said, "or I will make that child an orphan before it takes its first breath." I do not know if I saw him first or if Silas did, but a shape moved in the lighthouse window above us, the keeper, milk-white eye glowing, one arm extended like a sentence. Silas saw him, His face went slack. The shotgun wavered. "You?" he whispered. "You are dead. I watched you die." The keeper said nothing. He only stood and pointed, a silent accusation that held more weight than any bullet. The shotgun clattered to the ground. I picked it up and Corinne, who had not waited for my permission, called the sheriff from the old rotary phone the neighbor had insisted we keep. I held the shotgun on Silas until the law arrived, but I never aimed it at his heart. My mother's blood ran in both of us. I would not draw it. The sheriff took Silas away. The gold and emeralds were inventoried, then returned when old records proved the land had been stolen from my family by fraud. But that is not the ending that matters. What matters is this. 11 hours after Silas was arrested, Corinne gave birth to twin girls, Elena and Cora. I held her hand through it all. The midwife said she had never seen a calmer labor, but later when we were alone, Corinne told me that the keeper had stood in the corner of the room the whole time watching, and that when the first baby cried, he smiled and faded like fog burning off the water. I believe her. I have no other explanation for the peace that filled that room. We built a house on the foundation, a real house, with the old granite blocks as the fireplace. The cracked hearthstone became the front step. I never sealed the hollow beneath it. Some things ought to stay open. Before we moved in, I climbed the lighthouse tower one last time and found the keeper's name carved into the wall near the top. Elias Warren, 1878 to 1923, keeper of the light. No one in town remembered him. I left a jar of whiskey and a fresh apple at the base of the tower, just in case. And now, on foggy nights, my daughters press their faces to the window and swear they see a yellow gleam moving in the old tower, a light where no light should be. I look at Corinne, and she looks back at me, and neither of us says a word. The keeper's light still burns.